Hello guys and welcome to our channel Lume. In today's class, chapter 1, The Living World will be discussed from the chapter or the concept diversity in the living world. Before going to the topic, let us first know the syllabus that is given in NEET 2025 first for this chapter especially. And coming to the syllabus, these are the topics that are to be covered in NEET 2025. So let us see what are they. What is living, biodiversity, need for classification, taxonomy and systematics, concept of species and taxonomical hierarchy, binomial nomenclature. This is the syllabus for NEET 2025 for the chapter 1, The Living World. And going to the topic. First, what is living? Living is said to be anything that has or exhibits the characteristics of life, and hence living thing can be said as things or organisms that exhibit the characteristics of life. In NCERT, there are few characteristics or unique features of living organisms given. So here is the list, that is growth, reproduction, ability to sense environment and mount a suitable response, metabolism, ability to self-replicate, self-organize, interact, emergence, etc. And this is a one-shot video and our first video, so I hope you guys support and like, share and subscribe to our channel. And coming to the next one, for every living organism it is defined two features. One is defining feature and another one is non-defining features. Coming to the defining features, here are the things as per NCERT given. First thing is metabolism. Metabolism is a defining feature of every living organism, so that every living organism shows metabolism as a unique feature and a common feature that no living organism can exhibit. What we say is a metabolism. Metabolism is said to be the sum total of all chemical reactions occurring in our body. And then every living organism is made up of chemicals from various classes, sizes, functions, etc. And these chemicals, very small chemicals, undergoes various metabolic reactions and gives rise to biomolecules and vice versa too. Every living organisms, whether it be unicellular or multicellular, exhibit metabolism for sure, and no non-living organisms can do metabolism. And metabolism can be demonstrated outside the body in cell-free systems, and it cannot be living feature. Okay, it is a living feature but not in a living organism. An isolated metabolic reaction outside of a body of an organism is neither living or non-living. Isolated in vitro MR are non-living things but are really living reactions. And then after metabolism, second is cellular organization, that shows how cells are organized, and consciousness, that is how a living organism or any organism can react or mount responses to the senses, etc. And next is non-defining features. So coming to non-defining features that are not like the defining features, they can be exhibited by both living and non-living organisms. So those are not especially for particular group. So they are said as non-defining features. And here are some non-living features given in NCERT. First thing is growth. All living organisms do grow. Increasing mass and increasing number is the twin characteristics of growth. And cell division in plants is one type of growth where it continues and occurs throughout their lifespan, and in animals it occurs only to certain age. Cell division in certain tissues are used to replace lost cells. It is one of the major things, so you have to make it note down. In majority of the higher plants and animals, growth and reproduction are exclusive events. For example, in unicellular organisms, when we see if the cell or the unicellular, so if we say unicellular means it has only one cell. If it reproduce, how it reproduce? It reproduce by division of one cell. So it is simultaneously growth and reproduction. So in majority of the higher plants and animals, growth and reproduction are exclusive events, not inclusive events. And growth is said to be increase in the body mass, and non-living objects do grow from outside their body. It is said to be the accumulation of material on the surface. Living organisms grow from inside, not like non-living organisms. So here the difference is very clear that for non-living objects, growth is from outside of the body, and for living organisms, growth is from inside of the body. And coming to the second one is reproduction. Since we know the definition of reproduction is production of progeny possessing features that are more or less similar to that of parents, and reproduction is of many ways, and for different organisms there are different types of reproduction. Here we say given some examples that are given in NCERT that should be point to be noted for you guys because they are continuously asked in bits, so make sure you note down. Asexual means first fungi. They reproduce by asexual spores. Yeast or hydra reproduce by budding. Planaria or platforms. They reproduce by regeneration. Fungi. Fungi, filamentous algae and protonema of mosses generally reproduce by fragmentation, and in unicellular organisms like bacteria, unicellular algae or amoeba, reproduction is equals to growth because they are unicellular. And then coming to organisms that do not reproduce. Mules, sterile worker bees, infertile human couple, etc. are some organisms that do not reproduce. And no non-living objects can grow. So here you are seeing almost if every organism can reproduce, it is said to be only living organism. If all living organisms can reproduce, it is said to be the unique feature or defining feature of the living organism. But here, since some of the living organisms like mules, sterile worker bees, infertile human couple, etc. cannot reproduce, but also they are living organisms, we say living reproduction is not a defining feature or characteristic of living organisms, and no non-living objects can reproduce themselves. And this is to reproduction and non-defining features. And coming to next topic. Properties of tissues are not present in the constituent cells but arises as a result of interactions among the constituent cells. It is to be noted very carefully that properties of the properties that is exhibited by a particular tissue is not present in the constituent cells of it, but arises by the like what we say interactions among various types of cells in that tissue, but not as the particular cell in that tissue. Similarly, properties of the cellular organelles not present in the molecular constituents of the organelle but arises as a result of interactions among the molecular components of the organelle. And all living organisms from past, present and future linked to one another and sharing common genetic material but in varying degrees. And coming to the next one, diversity in the living world. And so here, what do we say as species? One of the main thing here we learn is species. So what is species? A species is each different kind of plant, animal or an organism. Number of species known are 1.7 to 1.8 million. Biodiversity definition is the sum total or the total number of and the various types of organisms present on the earth. And next is nomenclature, naming of living organisms such as particular organism, so that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. Identification is the process of assigning a scientific name or code to an organism based on its characteristics. Coming to some of the nomenclature, how nomenclature is giving names to the organisms. For plants, there is a special system of naming the organisms known as ICBN. This ICBN stands for International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, and it gives names to the plants all over the world. And for animals, similarly, ICJN, which stands for International Code for Geological Nomenclature, gives names for different types of animals all over the world. For every such type of names in biological nomenclature, there are two components namely generic name and the specific epithet. So, let us know what is binomial nomenclature. It is given by Carolus Linnaeus, the system of providing a name with two components, generic and the specific epithet, is known as biological nomenclature. For example, taking the example of mango, the scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica, and it has two components where Mangifera is genus and indica is a specific epithet. And going to the next topic, here are some universal rules for nomenclature, and they are very important, guys. Like from these set of 4 rules, there will be given some questions. So learn them. Okay. So first rule is biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. Despite of their origin, they are Latinized or derived from Latin. The first word in biological name represents the genus, as you see in Mangifera indica, where Mangifera gives genus and indica gives specific epithet. And the second component denotes the specific epithet, as in indica shows specific epithet. Both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. The first word denoting the genus starts with the capital letter, while the specific epithet starts with the small letter. It can be illustrated with the example Mangifera indica. So it is very important, guys, for all over the world. It's a universal thing. It is a universal rule that is for every name, for every biological name, when we write the genus, the first common genus, it will be written or started by a capital letter, whereas for the specific epithet, for every name of biological nomenclature, it is in small letter. It starts with small letter. Make sure you won't confuse. And next is name of the author appears after the specific epithet, that is at the end of the biological name, and is written in an abbreviated form Mangifera indica Lin. That is, Mangifera indica is a name described by Linnaeus. So, after writing the biological name of the component, we write the scientist's name as Lin. And going to the next one is classification. So, what is classification? Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. And coming to taxa, the scientific term for categories is called taxa. Taxa indicates categories at very different levels. For example, plants, animals, mammals, dogs, etc. all comes under different taxa. And what is taxonomy? The process of classifying organisms into different taxa is known as taxonomy. External, internal structures, along with the structure of the cell, development process, and ecological information of the organism, are essential and form the basis of modern taxonomic studies. And next is characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature are the basics of taxonomy. And earliest classifications are based on the uses of various organisms. So the early humans used to base the organisms based on how they are useful for them. And coming to systematics, systematics is the study of diversity of living organisms and their evolutionary relationships. The term systematics is a Latin word came from systema, that means systematic arrangement of organisms. Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publications. Systematics include identification, nomenclature, and classification. And going to the next is taxonomic categories. This is important. Classification. In every classification, there are hierarchy of steps, and each step gives or represents a rank or category, which we call as taxonomic category. And all the categories together form taxonomic hierarchy. And each and every category as a unit of classification represents a rank that is said to be a taxon or taxa. Taxonomic groups or categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates. So here are the taxonomic categories. They are of 7. They are kingdom, the highest. Next is phylum, that is set for animals or division for plants. Next is class and order, family, genus and species. All organisms, including plants and animal kingdom, have species at the lowest category, and whereas kingdom is the highest category and species is the lowest category, and that will not change. Further, kingdom will change into domain is the highest category, but species is the lowest category for everything, including plants and animals. This taxonomic category helps in identifying the similarities and dissimilarities among the individuals of the same kind of organisms as well as other kind of organisms, and differentiate them and group into orders, etc. And next is a clear view of what is what about taxonomic categories, and this is in from starting from the species, genus, family, order, class, phylum or division, and kingdom. So, first of all, let us talk about species. Species is a group of organisms with fundamental similarities, morphological differences, and these are the key points. Next is the genus. Genus is said to be the aggregates of closely related species and starts with the capital letter, and whereas species starts with small letter. And coming to the family, this is important, guys, so make sure you note down this. For family, so the names in family, it ends with IDEAE. IDAE for animals and CEAE for plants. If any word is ending with IDAE for animals and CEAE for plants, it is said to be from the family, taxa family, okay? And it is a aggregation of related genus organisms in related genus. It consists of both reproductive and vegetative characters in plants. And next is order, and the order ends with A and LES. Any organism name that ends with A or LES comes under cat. I mean, for any taxa that is given, if it ends with A or LES, that comes under order. And order, other higher classes, aggregates of characteristics, floral characteristics. For plants, order is said to be the aggregation of floral characteristics. Understand? And it is the aggregation of various members in the family. Next is a class. Class is what we say an aggregation of related orders. Example, Mammalia is a class, and it ends with A for animals. As you see in Mammalia, it ends with A. And for plants, it surely ends with ONAE for plants. And next is phylum or division. For phylum or division, the name ends with A or AE. It consists of the organisms from various classes. And what we say in, you may confuse, for animals it is said to be the phyla, and for plants it is said to be division. Don't get confused. For plants it is division, and for animals it is phyla. And next is kingdom, the highest category as of now. All organisms from various phyla and comes under kingdom Animalia, and whereas from various divisions comes under plants. Kingdom Plantae, that means kingdom Plantae consists of various divisions, and kingdom Animalia consists various phyla. And I think you are clear. and I'll provide notes for you, so don't worry. Okay, in the previous slide, since we are discussing the taxonomic categories, it is given with some examples for every taxonomic category. And for your better understanding, I just grouped them into a tree and represented here. Kingdom first is, so let us start with kingdom. There are two kingdoms given in the examples of from the taxonomic categories. They are given two examples, Animalia and Plantae are two kingdoms, and whereas coming to the division or phyla, all the red marked things comes under Animalia, all the green marked things comes under Plantae. So from division of phyla, coming to phyla, Animalia kingdom gives rise to phyla Chordata, and Plantae kingdom gives rise to division Angiosperm and Gymnosperm. And whereas Chordata gives rise to class Mammalia Aves. There are many classes actually, but these are the examples given in NCERT for taxonomic categories. If you clumps up all the things, it will be difficult for you to remember. So I just provided here what are given as examples in this topic. Okay, and for the class Angiosperm, it is given dicot. From division Angiosperm, it is given the class dicot. And coming to the order, from class Mammalia, orders Carnivora and Primata arise. And then from the class dicotyledons, order Polymonialis and Sapendalis came. So here note it down, guys. For plants, order in plants, every name ends with alias. See, alias is a particular thing. And from the family, from the order Carnivora, it gives rise to the family Felidae and Conidae. And from Primata, family Hominidae comes. And then from the order Polymonialis, it comes Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae, and Sapendalis gives rise to Anacardiaceae. And then for genus, Conidae gives rise to Felis and Panthera, Felis meaning cat, okay, all cat families. And Hominidae gives rise to Homo, Solanaceae gives rise to Solanum and Datura, Anacardiaceae gives rise to Mangifera. And finally coming to species, Panthera gives rise to Panthera tigris, Panthera pardus, Panthera leo. And for Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, Homo habilis. And for Solanum, it is given Solanum nigrum, Solanum tuberosum, and Solanum melanongia. And for Mangifera, it is given Mangifera indica. So I think you are clear for now. And then this is the table, and maximum of the cases, every question there will be at least one question from this table. So read this table thoroughly, okay? And then we can't just go with the taxonomy categories like that. So taxonomies have developed some subcategories in this hierarchy for our better understanding. So lower the taxa, and coming to lowest the taxa, there are more characteristics that the members within the taxon share. And higher the taxa, there is more difficulty of determining the relationship to the other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification becomes more complex. So that we need subcategories too. Okay, and taxonomy category. This is table. Let's go through. Here are some common names: man, housefly, mango, and wheat. Biological name. For man, biological name is Homo sapiens. Here given common name, biological name, genus, family, order, class, phylum, or division. So for man, biological name is Homo sapiens, and genus is Homo, where species is sapiens, and it comes to the family Hominidae, and C. Okay, it ends with IDAE for animals, and it comes under order Primata. and class Mammalia, and division chordata. Because it have chord, that is spinal cord, okay. And next is housefly. The biological name is Musa domestica, genus Musca, Muca, and then its family Mucidae, and order Diptera, class Insecta, phylum Arthropoda. And for mango, Mangifera indica, genus Mangifera, family Anacardiaceae, order Sapindalis, class Dicotyledoneidae, and phylum is Angiospermae. And coming to wheat, its biological name is Triticum aestivum, genus Triticum, family Poaceae, order Poalis, class Monocotyledonidae, and phylum or division is Angiospermae. And these two comes under man, and housefly comes under which kingdom? It comes under Animalia kingdom, and these two comes under kingdom Plantae. And next and final thing is scientists. In this chapter there are 3 scientists mentioned. One is Ernest Mayr. He is evolutionary biologist. He is said to be the Darwin of 20th century. He gave the concept of species. And next is John Ray. He just gave the term species, but not the concept of species. Concept of species is given by Ernest Mayr. The term species is given by John Ray. And Carolus Linnaeus gave the biological nomenclature. And Systema Naturae, from the thing systematics, he named Systema Naturae as the title of his publications. So that's all the video, guys. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm just trying to give you better. That's it. So please, of course I try to improve myself further. So please like, share, subscribe to our channel, and thank you.